Hi, this is Karen. I'm with inspiredbygram.com. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making a hello card. It uses the designer series paper from Country Club. We use a couple different punches, the 4-petal flower punch and the leaf punch with the vellum here. And we're using a little bit of that Rococo Rose scallop linen ribbon. And we're just using one stamp color, and that's Rococo Rose. And the inside of the card is just very simple. It's stamping the same flower as the outside, and our envelope is matching as well. So let's get started creating the card. I've got a piece of basic gray, and that's my card base. It is cut 5.5 by 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Whisper White, and this is 4 by 5 1/4, and this is for your inside panel. I have a piece of Rococo Rose, and this is cut 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. And the designer series paper is Country Club, and you can see the back side of it. It goes right on top of here, and this is cut 3 by 4 to maximizing the 12 by 12 sheet of designer series paper. And we also have a Whisper White envelope that we'll stamp at the end. There is on top of this card base is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch panel. It's basic gray, so the same as the card base, and that is embossed with the subtle embossing folder. I love this folder. I wish Stampin' Up! Would make paper just like this so I wouldn't have to emboss it all the time, because I would use it all the time. All right, so what we're gonna do, let's just get some of our paper product out of the way. I'm going to adhere the subtle emboss, or this panel, which is in the subtle embossing folder, and I'm going to just adhere it to the front of the card just so we can get this out of the way. And I'm using the liquid glue, multi-purpose liquid glue. All right, so that's very simple. The next step we're going to do is we're going to adhere the designer series paper to that Rococo Rose panel. And again, this is cut 3 by 4, and the Rococo Rose is 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. Just a very small border of that Rococo Rose popping through. Okay, so now this is going to get adhered to the card front with dimensionals. And I've only got 4 here, so what I'm going to do, because I want something in the middle there, I'm just going to take one of those mini dimensionals, which I have on my desk over here, and use that right in the middle, and that'll be just fine. Alright, so now we're just going to remove the backings from this panel of the dimensionals here. And then we're just going to adhere this on the front of the card, and it's centered left, right, top, and bottom. Alright, so now we're going to take a little bit of this, and this is a scallop linen ribbon, and it comes in all the newest in colors, and this is Rococo Rose. I'm just going to use my ribbon scissors. These are just specific for ribbon, and of course you can see the ribbon that's on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to angle this here. I'm going to adhere it with the multi-purpose liquid glue. You could also use tear tape as well, or maybe a glue dot, but I like to use the multi-purpose liquid glue. And I'm just going to hold this in place just for a few seconds, just so I know it's not going to move. Okay, so now we're going to set this aside and let it dry while we do some stamping. So this is the inside panel. And I've got my Rococo Rose ink here, and I just re-inked this one, so I have no idea what I'm going to get. It's going to be a lot darker. So I want to talk about the stamp set here. Actually, let me bring it in. I didn't show it to you. I'm using the Petals, and it's a cling stamp set, and it comes in all different same shape but different designs with the foliage, and you got a butterfly here and some small little flowers as well. The sentiment I'm using is from Timeless Tulips, and it's hello. So I'm using cling, and I'm also using photopolymer. Now, there's a punch that goes with this, okay, and it's the 4-petal punch. And there is a correct way to stamp so that it's easy to punch out. So what I do is on my block, I write, use my label maker, and I write top. And I specifically do this more for myself, but also for when I'm teaching a class, so it's easy for my participants to stamp and then punch out. So that's the inside panel. Again, that's 4 by 5 1/4. This is our Whisper White. I'm just making sure that the flap is the correct, in the correct way. If you wanted to, you could stamp on the back side of this flap as well. You could do 1, or you could do 3. So I'm just going to do 3. Okay, just adds a little bit more to your card. Now, since that's really juicy, I'm just going to let that dry for a second. And now you need some scrap Rococo Rose, because we're stamping on tone. And this is what we're going to be punching out. So again, I've got the top at the top there, and you just need 2. I'm going to close, or just a second, move that out of the way because we'll still need that for our sentiment. And so now the punch here. So we're just going to simply line this up. Now, if you stamped it a different direction, see, it does, the petals do not line up with the punch. So just a little trick for you, to save you a bunch of time. Figure out which way the stamp goes, and either mark the stamp on the cling side, or meaning the sticky side, or mark your block. It'll definitely save you a lot of frustration. All right, so we just need 2 of those. All right, so now what we're going to do is you're going to need a bone folder. And what we're going to do is break down the fibers here. So let me just bring in the sample that they're curved up here and bent up. And to do that, you're just going to take your bone folder gently, just like you're peeling, actually. And then this one here. Okay, so now I'm going to take a mini dimensional, and I'm going to pop this one up on top of the other one, just to give it a little bit of dimension and height. And I'm going to offset them so it fills in that gap. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some multi-purpose liquid glue on the back of this petal here, and I'm going to set it down on the front of the card here, and you can do it which way you want. I'm going to set it down so that the petals are going up and down and across, right smack in the middle there. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the leaf punch, and it looks, let me just bring it in here, it looks like this. And I've got these 3 pieces of vellum. I don't throw my scraps of vellum away because they make really nice embellishments. So we can just punch 3 out. And I would still keep this scrap for something. You never know, a small little flower punch or a little circle, like a 7/8 circle, you could probably use it for something. All right, so now let's just bring our card in, and I know it's probably going to be really hard to see on camera. You're going to need some glue dots. I'm just going to take a glue dot here, and I'm just going to put this leaf underneath those petals. I'm going to put 2 on the top left and 1 down at the bottom. And I'm working with odd numbers. I highly suggest working with odd numbers because odd numbers are more pleasing to the eye. And then 1 over here as well. Oops, that's not stuck down. So let's just hold it in place here. All right, and then what we can do is we can add our inside panel. And you could keep it so that the flower is down in the lower, or you could do it so it's up there as well, whatever you like. And a 1/4 inch border on all 4 sides. Okay, now to finish this card off, I'm going to bring in the basic pearls, and I'm going to add 3 to the center here, just kind of like in a triangle. Oh, this is a different size, it looks like, so let me just, actually I think it is just it looked different, but it's actually the same size. I should be using the other side of this take your pick tool. All right, that just finishes it off. All right, I don't think you need any more pearls to the card, because it would just I think it would distract. So now for the sentiment, we're using photopolymer. So we'll need our piercing mat. And I just used a small strip of Whisper White. It's a 1/2 inch. And I'm just gonna stamp the word hello right there. And now I'm gonna use my paper snips to just trim this down. I thought a large sentiment would be too overbearing, so something small and dainty will work. And I just used 2 small mini dimensionals on the back side there. Bring this back into the picture here. And I'm just going to simply adhere this down in the lower right corner. Just like that. All right, so there's a card we just made on camera, the matching envelope, and on the inside panel as well. Now, I don't know if you guys stamp or sign the back of your cards, but I always do. And I have a personalized stamp. So let me just show you every card that I make. I stamp with my information. And since I sell my cards as well, I add the Stampin' Up logo, the copyright logo. All right, just to abide by the angel policy. All right, so there you go. There's the card we made on camera and the one I made off camera. So now let me show you the masculine card class that I am offering, and I'm offering 8 cards, and the two cards are the same design. And I've created them using the Rooted in Nature stamp set along with seasonal layers dot thinlits. So Father's Day is coming up, but not necessarily Father's Day, but any time you need a masculine card, I thought I designed a pretty nice class. You don't need to use the Rooted in Nature stamp set, but that's what I used. And I have 3 different offerings. Option number 1 is just the kits, and the kits will include everything that you see on the cards, including the baker's twine, the burlap ribbon, the gold foil maple leaf, along with that brad there to match, the gold faceted gems. You'll receive in Whisper White inside panels, and also Whisper White. So you'll get 4 cards for $28, and that includes priority shipping. The next price point is $89, and that includes the Rooted in Nature stamp set along with seasonal layers thinlits. And you get all 8 card kits for free. And my third option is the PDF tutorial only, and that is a downloadable tutorial to your computer via my email. To get that information, you can go to inspiredbygraham.com. I have a link where you can order. It's very, very simple. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the card we made today, and I hope you enjoy the masculine card class that I am offering as well. For all your Stampin' Up needs, you can visit me at inspiredbygraham.com. Have a great weekend.